haven't seen gameplay of this game. Uh, Random.
I tried playing For Honor. I had it pre-ordered and I played it for a minute, but it was back whenever the servers were shit and it was glitchy, and all people ever done was just kick you off from fucking cliffs.
Oh, that hasn't changed, but servers have gotten worse, and it's been changed significantly.
Yeah, the only reason it stayed on my account because somebody would play it non-stop, and then finally Call of Duty came out. I was like, I gotta make room. Sorry, your game's gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, but now they released the newest DLC, and it's pretty much fucking killed the game for me. I haven't played it since the drop of that DLC.
There's always events
the new
on this.
They added. None of the new characters they added interest me. They're all just so goddamn annoying with their voices. And they decided, yeah, the community's gonna love it if we just change every fucking character's voice. I
gotta level up with the new master.
That's kind of what fucked me up on Final Fantasy 14. You know, it's a big MMO, but it's a storyline MMO.
Which is, it makes no sense.
The whole,
because go ahead.
Well, see, the base game had certain voice actors, and then whenever you get into the DLC, the voice actors fucking change, and it pissed me off so much because everybody sounded so goddamn different. Like one of the races, it's basically a midget race. And it sounds, the voice actor in the first part of this one specific midget sounds like a little fucking girl. I mean, it makes her sound like she's a little tiny fucking girl. And then you get
pretty much what Fauna got.
You get into the fucking DLC and she sounds like a goddamn grown woman all of a sudden.
Yeah, the warden. He sounds, you know, whenever he's doing like his shoulder charge, dude sounds like he's probably about, I don't know, 35 years old. He's got a deep, war-hardened, grumbly sounding voice. With the new voice they gave him, he sounds like he's about 16. And one of the coolest fucking things about that game was all the, you know, Centurion spoke Latin. The Japanese would speak Japanese. And Vikings would speak Norse, or whatever the fuck it is they speak.
Yeah,
but
that
now,
one language.
yeah, that one language that nobody can speak. But now, fucking, they all have lines to talk with each other at the start of a duel. So suddenly you have a Latin Centurion speaking in English with a Viking raider. And it's like, okay, this was needed, and they found nothing like they did before.
Let's settle this fair and square.
The voices in the game are like half the fucking reason that I love it. If you look up some of the translations on like the executions or just some of the shit that they say during the fight whenever you do like a certain attack, like the shaman.
Before we turn our attention to that, I want you to show
she's fucking brutal. In one of her executions, she
just have to steal
she
this
takes you to the ground, and as your guy is trying to push her off, she takes her dagger. Her weapons are a tomahawk and a dagger. She takes your one hand that you've got like in her face trying to push her off. She grabs it, takes her dagger, pins it to the ground, and your other hand that's reaching up trying to get her off of her, she bites off your fucking finger. I forgot exactly what happened. Valkyrie is my... They put out a bunch of new executions. Valkyrie is my favorite. She's got a lot of good ones.
This is over. Oh yeah. What the? Okay, time to get a little more serious.
So, welcome back.
Yeah, it kicked me.
Normally the next thing, odd, normally the next thing he says whenever he's doing his jab is incredibly, which is incredible. If you get a charge jab and you knock him down to the ground, you can leap on him and stab him in the chest, where he says, in fear, calling his opponent weak. And then as he's backing off, he yells out, Etzion, telling him, try it again. So he stabs the dude, punches him, knocks him down, yells out, incredible, weak, and then tells the dude to try it again. There's so much money in the voice acting in that game. You have so many famous voice actors, and then their reasoning for changing all the voice actors is they couldn't afford the other ones. So rather than get the other ones on again, but rather than, you know, pay the extra money to get those voice actors back, they recast every line in the game and then some.
I'm kinda actually happy with some of the new voice actors. Some of the new ones, they do fucking great. Some of them just suck so much ass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, I like the old ones better. You know, most of the main characters do great. More than half of them. Stola, I find her fucking, you know, she's my favorite out of all the main characters in the storyline, and they made her fucking voice goddamn, like, beautiful. They all have, I don't know, it's a type of, old English accent, kind of. And they speak in that old kind of tongue, where they say weird shit, and they say it in weird ways. Kind of hard to explain, but...
Fuck that, do it.
Yeah, kind of something like that. Kind of. It's not all like that. You can still mostly understand what they're saying, but they say weird shit. But some of their voice actors, like most of the bitches, they fucking up. Like you see a fucking guy that's 2 foot tall talking like a man that sounds like he's about 6'5", big burly dude, and yet he's fucking 2 foot tall, a little fat midget. It just don't sound right.
What are you doing right now? You want to check out some of these piranha and execution?
Not right now.
Gotcha.
Trying to finish it. Right now.
It's
Been
time
a
for
long
a
10 hours at work.
Nice. Good time.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
Working. Woke up at 4 o'clock this morning for work and stayed at work till 5 o'clock, 3:30.
What do you work for?
I work at Ingersoll Rand making air compressors.
I think it's all Randy is wrong with it. Yeah, I used to back when I was in assembly. I'm in our fabrication department now. Pretty much any part you see at Walmart, we make it.
Anytime you
If you see,
if you see literally any kind of air compressor from Ingersoll Rand, we made it. We're the only ones who make the air compressors anymore. They come straight from Camelot. We supply literally the whole fucking United States. Canada.
nice.
Not nice. Fuck everybody. Their goddamn air compressor needs.
Oh, if you only fucking knew.
And it's even worse whenever a hurricane or anything like that happens. I hate to say it, but, you know, it fucking pisses me off because I used to work at gas tests, and, you know, we have 3 separate gas units, like gas air compressors that we build. And I used to work at gas test where we would have to test and process and send through crate, box, air compressors, like the gas air compressors. Whenever they have a, normally the most that we can run on an 8-hour shift at gas test is right around 60 units. But they like to send out anywhere from like 70 to 90 whenever they start getting real backed up. And so we get so far behind and end up having like hundreds of units on the ground we gotta test. And then if a hurricane happens, then it just fucks everything up because all of a sudden everybody needs a goddamn gas air compressor. Like,
Hey.
the last real bad storm and shit that hit, I think it was Texas. It was last year sometime, but they ordered 50 of each air compressor that we had. We have 3 of them. That's 150 fucking units. But the bad thing is they ordered them on a Wednesday. Orders take about 2 to 3 days for them to go through. And so we didn't get the order till Friday. And so we got the run sheet for them on Friday. We can't do the run sheet until the next day. They called overtime and wanted us to run every fucking one of these on a Saturday.
Good time.
And it was bullshit. Had to run a 12-hour shift that day. We don't run 12 hours there. We do 10-hour shifts at the most. And we had to run a fucking 12-hour day on a Saturday.
Most I've done is 16.
I've done a
That was
16
fun.
once, but that was back in plastic products.
This was a covered cart corral installation. Motherfuckers are a bitch.
Well, thank God I run the train now. I take the bears and the motors for the air compressors inside,
Wait till you
so
see
that
what
the
I've
lines
learned.
can run them. Bears, air compressors, belt guards, and not sheaves anymore. Sheaves inside. So now I do the bears, motors, belt guards, and filters. Run all that shit in on a train so that they can run them.
Looks like I
It
should
ain't a
have
bad
been more
job, it
careful.
just gets a little rushed.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Trust me, I feel you.
that Shukaku got the best of us.
That's one thing I hate about being like a material supplier of any kind.
Yeah.
Wait for an
Our
opening, then
fucking
run,
company
boss.
is retarded. They have no fucking clue what they're doing. And it's mostly just the scheduling. I'll do something, like they'll have me bend, 55. I'll go to close them out, and I can only close out 20 because they decided, yeah, we don't need to make as many now. In that short time that it took me to bend, in that hour that it took me to bend 50 parts, they decided, yeah, we should not make those. So now I've got all this shit, and I can't close it out, and I get pissed off when I close it out, but the pissed off is already ran it, and they just quit right there. Long story short, National Card Company, done as fucking to do everything. Hopefully you never see it.
I'll tell you what, our fucking,
Finish this in one go.
we've been talking about it here at work here
That's a
lately.
relief.
We really should change our motto
Kaku will take
to
this.
Ingersoll Rand, we make air compressors, not sense.
Okay.
Because they done it last year around this time. They ran us on 10-hour shifts every day and Saturday until we ran out of work.
Well, fucking National Card Company, NCC, everybody calls it No Communication Company.
Afraid this would happen.
Because that's exactly what it is. There's no fucking communication. Nobody knows who the fuck's doing what.
Yep, I know how you feel. Working factories kind of sucks. It's just half the problems with working in a factory. You get no communication. You go by their rules even though they've never done the job that you're doing right now.
My machine got fixed somewhat recently, and when it was at the peak of its shitty ass life, it was well, I say peak in a very totally manner. When it was pretty much at the lowest point of its life, so what I run is a hydraulic tube bender. It's fucking mad. It's a horn tube bender, and it's nowhere near the biggest one they make, but if you got your hands between some clamps, you'd never see your hand again. I'll put it this way, we get sheared off and then crushed thin as paper. The bend on, part that bends apart, would just kind of drift open anytime you'd step on the safety mat. Makes plenty of sense. So, one day I got aggravated. I got a maintenance manager, the biggest joke in the fucking plant. And I was arguing with him about what the fuck we should do. So I was telling him, I ain't gonna run this fucking machine like this. And somebody's gonna get hurt. Whether it's me or just anybody else running it. That's exactly what I'm saying. So we got the plant manager to come over. And my machine is supposed to stop bending. The bend arm's not supposed to come out past 120 degrees. It was all the way up to 193, maxed out. So we get the plant manager over there. He asks, what's going on? And I explained to him, the machine's doing this. I don't like it. It ain't safe. So he says, okay, put it in manual. Put it back where it's supposed to go. And at this point, my boss is the fabrication manager, the plant manager, and the maintenance manager. So I go to click on manual. The plant manager is standing on the edge of the safety line. I click on manual, and the bend arm snaps closed about 3 times faster than I'd ever seen him move. Had he been in the path of it, he'd have either been hit and had some broken bones, or if he was between the machine and the bend arm, he'd have been crushed to death. The thing is, because this place is so fucking stupid, he pretty much just brushed it off and said, yeah, we should probably fix that. Rather than, hey, nobody's running this until that's fixed. When I tried to put a lock on it to make sure that nobody would run it, I was told, no, we'll let maintenance do that if they think they need to.
I have the same kind of story, except the train that I run now, it's I drive a tugger, and it has four parts behind it, maybe 30 foot long. Gotta drive it in and out of the building. I drive it into one building, back out, and then into my main building, which is, we call it the crate barn. Now, whenever I drive it into the crate barn, that's where I load the bears, the motors, and all that. So, whenever I drive it in there, I have somebody that comes to the back of the train and pulls all the belt guards. He has to load the belt guards for me because I don't have the time. And whenever he goes to load the belt guards, he has to pull a switch, or pull a knob and drop a lever, and that drops the back train's, it's basically like a ramp going up into the cart. And so, it's a flat piece of sheet metal. That's all it is. It's just a real thin, flat piece of sheet metal. And we have safety switches that run all throughout the train, so if the ramp is open or any of the arms on the train or on the carts are open, the train will not move. So it's our safety switches. Now, there was one point where I had just gotten put on the train, and the guy that previously drove it had troubles with one of the arms where he would be driving and it would cause the whole train to stop because it would rattle one of the arms far enough off to cause the train to stop. And so he bypassed like the back 2 trains, or the back 2 carts.
That's always good.
Yeah, and so if you were to open up an arm and forget it was open and take off on those back 2 carts, you would take off. It wouldn't stop you. And so the guy popped open that ramp, and I was trying to line up so that I could load up the bears. And he popped it open because he thought I was lined up, and I went to go move again. And whenever I moved, I hit the gas too hard and just about took his fucking ankles off.
Now then.
And so I finished loading it up, drove it into line 2 inside, stopped the train, stopped it, unhooked everything, called for maintenance and told them to come outside, or told them to come out to the train. And I said, well, listen, I need maintenance in here to line 2. Safety switches are messed up, and I just about took a guy's legs off. Need it fixed before I move again. They're like, alright, I'll be in there in a minute. Okay. I sat there for about 10 minutes. Line 1 goes down without bears. Holler for my team leader, tell him to bring some bears in. Holler at maintenance again. I'm like, hey guys, what's the status on coming out here? I really need you out here. Everything's going down, and I'm not moving this train until it's fixed. Well, we're kind of busy right now, so you're just gonna have to wait. Hollered at my supervisor. I was like, listen, both lines are gonna go down. I'm not moving this train. I have a real bad safety issue. So, just so you know, we're not gonna hit our numbers today. So he comes out there with the safety manager. Well, he's kind of the safety and maintenance manager. He comes out there, and he's like, so what's the problem? I about took one of your guys' fucking legs off earlier because I was driving this train and the back 2 carts are bypassed. Why are they bypassed? Like, I have no fucking clue. I got thrown onto this train in the middle of doing a different job, so I can't tell you why they're bypassed. I know that they are, I know that something's fucked up, I just don't know what is fucked up. I was like, I need it fixed, fix it, or I'm not moving this train. Well, someone's gonna have to move the train. I was like, there's only 3 people in this plant that know how to drive the train. That's me, my team leader, and the guy who about got his fucking legs taken off. I was like, none of us are gonna fucking move the goddamn thing, so fix it or it's not getting moved. They finally got it fixed in about an hour.
Yeah, it's pathetic that that's what you gotta go through. Fucking get your money done.
You have to shut it down and risk them losing money in order to get shit fixed. It's fucking sad.
Well, the place I work, they'll fucking, they'll step over a fucking $10,000 for a penny. The amount of money they fucking waste is ridiculous.
It took about 4 months to get me a new battery on the cutter. Or it wasn't me at the time, it was the previous driver. But it took them about 4 months to get them a new battery.
There's a guy in our gals department that runs a machine that looks, that runs almost exactly like mine does. The only difference is his can't bend square because the carriage cannot move side to side because there's no spring. If you try to bend square in it, it doesn't work. It's much shittier than what I've got. But one other minor difference is on the bend arm. So on my machine, I've got 3 dies. You have the clamp die, the head die, and the pressure die. The head die doesn't move, but only rotates when the bend arm does. The clamp die is attached to the bend arm, it clamps the part, and the pressure die comes out, it keeps pressure on the part, and it slides the part so it doesn't just stretch and rip the material in half. So, on my machine, where the clamp die opens and closes, it's entirely open, which is actually a good thing. They don't try to, enclose anything. It's actually pretty safe. When you hear something being so open, you kind of think it's more dangerous, but no, it's very safe the way mine's set up. The other guys, when his clamp die, there's a part on my bend arm. It's pretty much just a faceplate of the machine. It's about, 3/4 inch steel. On mine, it stops where the clamp die opens and closes. But it stops before that, about 9 inches before that. On his machine, it doesn't. It goes to the very end of the clamp die when it's open. But when the clamp die comes up, there's an opening on the bend arm where the clamp die fits in whenever it's open. So the guy running that machine, one day, dropped his tape measure. He sidestepped his safety mat, went to bend over to pick it up, set his hand on the bend arm while the machine was in motion bending apart. That clamp die opened up, and it sheared off 2 of his fingers. At the knuckle. He got lucky. Dude was, whenever it comes to losing fingers, you can't get more lucky than this guy. He lost his right pinky, he lost only about half of his right pinky and about 2/3 of his right ring finger. The dude's left hand dominant. He lost the 2 most useless fingers he had on his hand. But the kicker, though, despite the fact this machine just sheared off 2 of his fingers and smashed them flat, thin as paper, there was somebody running the machine less than 20 minutes later before maintenance or the safety team even took a look at it. After the dude was rushed onto an ambulance,
What'll it be?
and to the hospital to get his fingers stitched back up, or what was left of them, to get them stitched back up, there was already somebody on the machine. They literally pulled his fingers out of it, wiped off the blood, and they kept on running it before anybody could look at it.
Yeah, it about like what happened earlier this year. We have.
Thing is, this time, well, give me one second. I got a little extension to the story. This time, it was my lead in my department, basically the assistant manager. He was the first one to help him. He asked the dude, are you all right? He said no. The dude was in shock. He said no. My boss asked him, do you need help? And he said yeah. And he was going into the bathroom. He was holding his hand. That's why my boss saw it. He saw something odd. He asked him about it. So they immediately called 911 before they called the safety team. Because the last time they called the safety team when there was an emergency, when a guy had, I'm pretty sure he almost cut off, 4 of his fingers on the saw, on one of our saws. I'm talking like his fingers were like hanging off.
Believe in yourself.
The last time they called the safety team before they called an ambulance, the company ended up calling a fucking taxi to take this guy to the hospital because it would be cheaper. The dude could have been bleeding out in the back seat. And of course the fucking taxi driver is some hippie stoner that's trying to ask the dude that could be bleeding out, hey man, you know where the hospital's at? Yeah.
And see, we've got stand-up lifts. They're basically,
Those?
yeah, see, we have them, the old ones that we used to have, they had a door on them, and whenever that door was opened, it's the safety switch engages, and it's supposed to hit the brakes, stop, you're not supposed to move, and there's a latch that's supposed to be on them to keep you from opening it mid-run, unless you need it. Now, this guy that has been working there for ages and had been telling maintenance that his has been messed up, the latch was broke, the door had been taken off because it had been broke and it kept just engaging the latch every time we went to go take off. And the maintenance team took the door off and told them to keep on running it. So this guy was moving some tanks around for the air suppressors and was backing up, and his foot slipped off. One foot slipped off the lift. The other foot hit the gas because all this weight went to it, and he was going backwards and slammed into some tanks and crushed his foot in between the tanks and the lift. And fucked all kinds of shit up. I mean, it fucked all the tanks up, knocked a bunch of tanks over, crushed his foot completely, had ambulance and emergency team and all that out there, got the guy taken off, and they put another guy on that lift to do his job so that they could figure out what happened. And that guy that they put on the lift ended up almost doing the same thing, but he hopped off the lift before anything happened. They finally ended up exiling that one lift, and finally ended up, like, people had to come in and investigate what happened, because the guy told them what all went on, and that he had told maintenance about it, and maintenance just took the door off. So people came in and investigated that, and we ended up having to get rid of all of our old forklifts, stand-up lifts, and everything, and get a whole brand new selection of them.
Yeah, my machine, the way it's all set up, I don't even run it whenever like OSHA comes in, because, well, to be completely honest, if my machine were to be guarded and everything the way they want it, I couldn't even run the motherfucker. So I literally don't even run my machine whenever they come in.
Yeah, see, we've never seen OSHA come in once.
Oh, nice.
If OSHA were to come in to the crate barn where I work, they'd shut the place down.
Nice.
Because at gas test, under the rollers at gas test, we have a bucket of oil that leaks constantly that hasn't been hasn't been emptied out since I've been there, and I've been there for almost 2 years now. And so, you know, you got a constant fucking oil leak sitting under the guys that are pushing, you know, just about 100 pounds worth of air compressors around constantly. Half the fucking rails that hold the bears on are broken off. Half the shit don't work. I mean, seriously, if they were to walk back there, they would shut the whole place down. So
I'm
much
trying to
shit's
think of
fucked up back there.
what else I've seen happen at the place or heard about.
My whole fucking, my whole train is fucked up. In order to line up to line 1 or 2, I have to guide these rollers that are on the carts. I have to guide them into rails. And so while I'm driving, I have to look behind me to try to guide these up. And people like to walk in front of me a lot while I'm doing that. I don't understand the reasoning why they fucking do that. They're like, oh, he's not looking. Perfect time to walk. I've almost hit more than enough people trying to do that. But in order to be able to unload everything, you have to go into those rails perfectly. You have to pull past the point that you're pulling into. You have to pull past it and then turn back in and then line up perfectly. And the only way that it lines up perfectly is if the train lines up right behind you. And none of the carts are in line. They're all like an inch or two out of line. And so nothing wants to line up right, and so much shit gets fucked up. The last guy got kicked off the train because he fucked up and jackknifed the train trying to line up, and it went out of line in the middle of one of the rails. I'm gonna end up getting kicked off from it because I've done the same fucking thing today and yesterday. But I wasn't going as fast as that guy was. That motherfucker was flying. Fucking idiot. Also had a guy get fired today. I thought it was pretty funny. I didn't find out until lunchtime. This guy, we have air ones there to blow certain units off. And he put a steel bolt, into one of the air wands and shot it towards the start of his line, hit a guy in the back of the head so hard that it drew blood, and the guy got fucking walked out that day. And that morning, I guess this morning, but this morning, the guy got